Gartland. The name of this program and segment is the IRS Fix, brought to you by the Gartland Group. And I'm Bernie Gartland, tax attorney. Tim Berry, tax attorney. And how about using the phrase, I owe, so off to work I go. Now, sometimes if you owe the IRS lots of money, we have clients that work 2 and 3 jobs because they feel they have to pay at that exorbitant rate. Do you know anything about that, Mr. Tim?
Well, the great thing about the IRS is it's a kinder, gentler IRS now, isn't it?
It is so kind and so gentle.
And so they came out with this new program, this new initiative, where they will loan you the money to pay your taxes. Because the big thing, and this is what Bernie says all the time, is compliance. That's the buzzword. They want you to be in compliance, and they found that whenever people don't have the money to make payments, they fall out of compliance. Thus, the IRS will give you a payment plan. And Bernie, what are the typical terms of the payment plans?
The payment plan is take a look at what your gross income is, minus your withholding, your SDI, etc. Take a look at your business and personal expenses, and whatever left over, if anything, is what you agree to pay to the IRS.
And how about, do they have any streamline initiatives? Or is there anything we can do there?
They got a plethora of streamline issues, and that what we're talking about is this. Commissioner Schulman, in his wisdom, and I have to say that I really enjoyed working with the IRS when Commissioner Schulman was there, he figured out that if you owed less than, initially, $10,000, they would not assign a revenue officer, in other words, the collection specialist showing up at your front door. He simply said, make sure you're in compliance, and make sure you can pay this $10,000 that you owe over a period of 60 months. And this was the initial one, it was 60 months. Then it worked out so well because people want to pay their taxes, but they're afraid of the IRS. So now here is an easy plan called the Streamline Plan at that time. It worked so well, Tim, it went to $25,000. And if you owe $25,000 and you're contacting the IRS because you owe that, you can qualify for the Streamline Plan. And guess what happens?
What happens?
No lien is filed, no wage attachment, and no bank account attachment, as long as you pay that money. Now, it went from 60 months to what? 72 months. Excuse me. So as if you owe less than $25,000, less than $10,000, you can control your own destiny. And I guess this is what the government actually has loaned you, this money that you used but didn't pay, and now you're paying it back on your terms, not theirs. Now, there's also a $50,000 time limit, and if you owe $50,000, now you got to submit a couple of financials, but the same thing will apply. So in other words, I don't know whether they're kinder or gentler, but they're kind of more pragmatic.
Got it. So bottom line, if you don't have the money, don't freeze, file your tax return, that's super important, and then the government can work out a payment plan with you.
Make sure you're in compliance, because we found if you do not understand that you can control these streamlined plans, and most of you owe less than 10, most of you owe less than 25,000. If you do not understand this, you don't file. Then you don't file the next year. Then you don't file the next year. So it's very simple. File your tax return and set up, at the time you file your tax return, you can set up a streamlined plan. It's a government loan.
It's a fantastic thing.
And you didn't even have to apply for it.
Yeah.
You just institute it and it's done. So another wonderful segment brought to you by the Gartland Group, because this is the IRS Fix.